Hey guys, this is the Happy Crow here. Whew! You guys ready for today? I'm not ready. Let me repeat that. I'm not ready. Alright, here we go. So, everyone right now is freaking out. Everyone's freaking out. And by the way, today you can call me the Unhappy Crow. That's okay. And we're going to get definitely some controversial up in here. I'm going to be a little bit more, yeah. So everyone's up in arms about this Cuties movie. Everyone's so worked up because of this movie that is horrible. Now, preference this entire thing. This movie is horrible. Everyone's freaked out about it for the right reasons, because it's terrible. This movie hypersexualizes children, and that is freaking wrong. Okay, now, here's where some of my problems are. We're so worried about this movie, and people are calling to cancel Netflix. You want to cancel Netflix? Okay. What about the rest? There's my question. What about the rest? This is not such a simple problem of, well, we have one show. Here's the real reason. The real reason everyone wants to cancel Netflix right now, because they're offended by this movie, is because they feel like they can do something about this. They can get the movie removed or cancel Netflix, which really isn't going to happen. But you can get the movie removed. That's people's main goal right now, which I'm all for that. Here's a reality question: is that going to actually fix the problem? Nope, not at all. You know why? Because the best thing you're going to do is give yourself a pat on the back, say, hey, we canceled this movie, and then go about your daily lives. Meanwhile, I'm not going to say all, but a giant portion of Hollywood, and mind you, I'm a movie buff, so I understand the messed up scenario on that. But a giant portion of Hollywood is completely complicit in the sex trafficking industry. They're either complicit or they're extremely active. Look at all the evidence that we have seen. But we're worried about canceling Cuties on Netflix, which, once again, go ahead, get it removed, because it's a horrible piece of crap. But when you come down to it, I think we're just trying to go against the grain here and make ourselves feel better. You want to get to the root of the issue? You want to actually fix this for real? Let's get rid of all the sexuality in everything. Everything is sexual. We went full Freudian with everything. Everything. You can't see an ad for anything without it being sexual. You can't see anything without it having extreme sexual overtones to it. We're all the way down to children's shows. They did a study a couple years ago where they asked adults. They said, okay, have you had any experience with porn? And then they said yes, and then they kept going down lower and lower, in college, high school, grade school, high school, middle school. Once they started to hit grade school, they said, yeah, we don't want to know anymore, because everyone has access on this lovely little device called a phone. But that's the problem. Parents, we need, as parents, to do our freaking jobs and monitor what your kids watch. But you have to explain to them. You don't have to say, you can't watch this. If you just tell them, hey, you can't watch this, they're going to want to watch it so much more. You're going to have to explain to them. You have to get nitty-gritty explaining why sex and hypersexuality things is not right. What does God say about it? God says sex is great in the confines of marriage. So as soon as you explain to them, guess what? You're going to have the sex talk with your kids. You're going to have to not leave it up to your schools. By the way, you don't want to leave it up to your schools, especially if you see what they're teaching these kids. They're teaching these kids all kinds of stuff at such a young age, and it is not even the correct way to view sex, because our viewpoint of it is so messed up. And then they're indoctrinating from such a young age. And on top of that, like I said, then you have parents. A lot of times parents just don't want to have that talk because it's uncomfortable. I had to talk with my son. It's uncomfortable. But guess what? Once you get it over with, it gets a little easier. And then we have to follow up with our lives. We have to monitor what they watch, explain to them why things are and aren't okay. and work with them, and don't give them the shame complex of sex is horrible and all this stuff, because then that's just going to lead them down a whole different path of self-shame. No, we got to do everything the right way, and that requires work. That also requires us as adults knowing what we believe in our Bible, because otherwise we're just flip-flopping to, well, I think this is the right thing, this is what society says, when that has nothing to do with what God says. As a parent, as a Christian parent, you have to know what you believe, or else you are raising your child for failure, period. Because if they do not know, if they don't know what they believe, you know why? Because you never taught them. You have to be their umbrella. You have to be their protection until they leave that house. And you have to do the best job you can. Now, they are going to make their own decisions, and they're going to make bad ones. Every child does. Everyone makes bad decisions. But until then, you have to protect them. Now, you can't get to the point where you're over-sheltering them, too, because they're going to hit the real world, and it's going to hit them like a ton of bricks in the face. But you know what? That's where discernment comes in. That's where you got to know your word. You got to be in with God and have that nice little direct pipeline so He can direct you in everything you do. So my point that I'm trying to bring out with all this is this whole cancel cuties thing, go for it. But why don't we fix the culture? Now, you say, well, that's too big. You're right. You're completely right. I don't think any one of us within the sound of my voice has the one-on-one ability to change all of culture. You're right. But guess what? You can change the few lives around you. You can change your family's lives. Your family can then change some other family's lives. You guys can all work together. We can all work together to change culture. But that means we have to change culture. You have to be like Jesus. Who was Jesus? Counterculturalist. What did He do? He went against things that were wrong and stood up for what's right. That means you're going to have to lose some friends. That means you're going to have to piss people off. Let's be honest. You're not going to be able to go through everything and say, I'm just going to tiptoe around this issue. No, Jesus didn't tiptoe around things. He did it in love. Now, the second we take the love out of the equation, you done messed up. But we can do it in love and treat people the right way. Now, you're going to make enemies along the way, because if they kill Jesus and we're going to act like Him, guess what? They're going to hate us too. Jesus Himself said that. So, what do? We act like Him, we love Him, we grow in our faith. We got to stop living in this stagnant faith world, and unfortunately a lot of that has been perpetuated by the prosperity gospel of saying, well, if I pray and I do this and that, then God's going to bless me. Yes, you're going to be blessed, but that doesn't mean you're going to be blessed monetarily or physically. There's things called spiritual blessings, just letting you know, just in case you got confused. And now I'm not saying there's not physical either, but I'm saying there is spiritual blessings too. We need to move away from this mindset of, well, we got to go along to get along. No. We need to follow Christ, be revolutionaries like Him. Let Him guide us. Let the Holy Spirit guide you in everything you do. It's bothersome to me, because I don't want this whole thing to go crazy, everyone to freak out, cancel cuties, and then everything goes back to normal, because that's what's more than likely going to happen. Oh, do I hate that. That's probably what's going to happen. It doesn't have to, though. We can go ahead and start doing the right thing and training up children in the way they should go. And when they're old, they'll not depart from it. That's a proverb. Now, mind you, that proverb is not a promise, but that is a guideline. There's been plenty of parents, unfortunately, who have trained their children upright, and their children have made the wrong decisions, and it sucks. Especially for the parent who just has to sit there and watch. But don't forget, Jesus watches us all the time, and we break His heart every time we sin. He understands that pain. He understands it so much. But we can do the best we can. We can save our children. We can protect our children. We can get rid of this cultural mindset. But we have to stand up and not just be screaming about what we're against, but also say we're for Jesus. We're for love. Not this world's stupid definition of love that's all this inclusivity that's not actually love, that's just pandering. No. We gotta love as Jesus loved. We gotta act as Jesus acts. And be light in this world. Like I said, do I think that we're gonna, like everyone in Sound of My Voice, is gonna change Hollywood? Absolutely not. Let's be real. But you can change people's lives around you. If you know a ship is sinking, what do? You grab everyone you can and throw them onto the lifeboat and say, please, you scream at them, please, come with me. I have something here that can save you. We as Christians need to have that desperation. That desperation to say, this world is so wrong. And we need to love and pull people into that lifeboat. But they have to be willing and have the choice. If you didn't give them the choice, then how are they going to get in? If we didn't even show them that there's a lifeboat worth getting into, why would they get in? We need to be real Christians. Not just be part of the cancel culture. Once again, just for making sure there's clarification, because people like to twist things. Go ahead and cancel Cuties, please. For the love of God, cancel it. But let's do something more with our lives. Let's do something more with all of this. We don't have to just be screaming at one thing and then sit back and say, look what I did. No, it's not enough. It's not enough to get one thing canceled. All of Hollywood is complicit. All these things are complicit. We need to save the children. But why don't we save their souls too while we're at it? Alright? Well, thank you guys. Don't forget to check us out on Twitter. At Whosoever Group. Check us out on Facebook /Whosoever Group, and then you should be watching this on YouTube, so you know where it's at. Alright, thank you guys very much. Talk to you later. Bye.